Alright folks, I'm up early this morning in hopes of seeing some baby snakes. Late summer is baby season, or it's the beginning of baby season, where you have all the snake eggs that have been incubating all summer hatching, and a lot of the gravid snakes, like say timber rattlesnakes, giving live birth. Today in particular, I am interested in trying to find baby eastern hognose snakes. It's one of my favorite species. I know a bunch of nesting sites. It's one of the species that actually hatches earlier in the fall. So we're gonna see what we can do. A couple years ago, I got really lucky and saw a whole nest of like 17 plus baby hognoses hatching. And I'm hoping to replicate that this year. I'm gonna give it a shot. We'll see what happens. Wow, check out all these, I guess they're silkworm nests. This place is just loaded with them. Alright, so far things feel really good. It's like maybe 70 degrees, could be under, still in the 60s. And it feels wet, like it just rained. The ground looks wet. I feel good about today. The weather feels good. Usually the hognose is kind of like this crisper weather, at least at this time of the year, so I think we could get lucky. If we don't, I'm gonna hit tomorrow again. Alright, I flipped this here rock. It's a nice flat one. It's cool underneath, and I got first snake of the day. Nothing too special, just a little ringneck. Nice. I'm gonna put this guy back, or I'm gonna put his rock back and then let him go. Well, I was just hiking this new spot and daydreaming, and check this out. A little tiny hognose was just crossing the path. I almost stepped on him. Can't believe it. Oh, here he goes. Feigning death. It's nothing too pretty. It's just a little gray one. But look at that. It's not a baby. But it's a nice little age. Very cool. I didn't really do much to trigger this, but he threw up a little toad here. Here's this guy. Wow, new spot. So cool. Did not expect to see one. He's doing here what's called feigning death, and I hate to make him do this. I usually try not to, but he was just so energetic and on the trail and took off. I guess this looks like a young female, a little juvenile, but that is just awesome. Man, I'm so hyped to... Snake's in limbo right now, where it's like not sure if it's gonna play dead or not. Looking at this snake, looking at the hood and stuff, see some yellow on the hood there. I think this snake's gonna be pretty yellow when it gets older. No way to tell exactly what it's gonna look like, but if you look at the end of the tail there, from what I've seen on pretty snakes, it's usually colorful after the vent. And then, you know, it's got like this dark thing down the middle. I usually don't see that on dark phased individuals. And you can see it's got a pretty defined pattern. It's just young, so it hasn't grown into that yet. Wow. Yeah, so I don't know if I explained this in my excitement, but I was hiking for a couple hours really. And I was looking for neonates at a nesting site and wasn't seeing anything, and decided to basically just scout out some new habitat that I've just had my eye on for a while. And I've been walking it for maybe 2 hours or something like that, just exploring. And you can kind of see what the habitat looks like here. This is just the side of the trail, but it's got all this bracken fern and pitch pine and
pretty loose soil. And I was hoping the habitat would honestly be a little bit more like riparian where I am, not so high up and mountainous, but it looked like the type of place where hogs are, but not the type of place where you can find them frequently, in my opinion. And just as I was kind of giving up, I figured I'd hike down to one more spot. I was just hiking on a trail here, and this thing was crossing. And unfortunately, I made it play dead. I usually try not to do that, but you can see it slowly coming back to life now. There you go. Alright, now the snake is awake. It's awfully windy today. So I'm not sure how well you can hear me, but the snake is now awake. It looks like it's getting ready to go. I'm wondering if yeah, see, if I get near it, it just kind of, starts cocking its head sideways. It's ready to play dead again. That's funny. I'll move this guy off the trail in the direction he was going. He was actually going that way. And I guess we'll keep looking. And after a little bit, we'll probably pick this up tomorrow and see if we can find some babies. Okay, this has to be some kind of joke. I was literally leaving to go somewhere else, right? I'm still on this trail, and I just hiked up another freaking hognose crossing the path. Crossing the path. Think about that. The odds of that are ridiculous. This is insane. I guess I'm gonna have to return to this spot. I thought the last one's a fluke, but if I found two randomly crossing the trail like this, and look at this one. This one looks like he's gonna be a gorgeous yellow one someday. Wow. If I found two just randomly crossing the path like that, that can't be a coincidence, you know? I'm really hyped about this spot. I think this is gonna be a really good area for them. Wow. This one's not as willing to play dead. You can tell this one is probably gonna be pretty someday. Another nice yellow colored hognose. What the hell? I'm so hyped. This guy went ahead and played dead. It seems like at this age they play dead pretty easily for whatever reason. Look at this fool looking right at the camera. What's crazy too is this is the age, like I went out looking for neonates today, and this is like the age hognose I see the least of by far. It's like that weird juvenile age, like young juvenile. I've seen a couple only this size. What the heck? This is so cool. Here he is right side up. I'll put my shadow on him, maybe he's easier to see like that. Nice, similar pattern to the last one, so I think it's just this age that they look like this. Gotta wonder what an adult from here looks like. I'm sure they have a bunch of different varieties, but I'm hoping that there's some really colorful ones here. So here's just a look at the habitat. You got pitch pine, bracken fern, low bush blueberry, and these grasses and stuff. It's a good looking spot. It's like very xeric and dry looking. You can just feel the ground is crunchy and dry. And typically, I don't find this to be the most productive habitat to produce hognose snakes, although I think they're common in these habitats, or like more common. But anyway, I think I'm about ready to call it a day. I'll obviously film anything if I hike something on the way out, but pretty crazy finding those two hognoses literally crossing the path I was walking on in a new place I've never been to before. And sorry, I missed a lot of the starting theatrics and the in situ and stuff like that, because I just was not ready at all to stumble upon either of those, even after the first one. Obviously, I didn't expect another one crossing the path the same way the other one did. But anyway, I'm gonna pick this up tomorrow, so I'll see you guys then.
Alright folks, it's the next morning. It's actually pretty cold today. It's like, it dipped down in the 50s last night and it's only low 60s right now. So I'm gonna get out and hike around. It's sunny, I guess, with some passing clouds. Interesting weather. Could be good for hognoses. We're really getting to that time of year where things start to cool down, the babies hatch, and this crisper weather brings snakes out to the surface that have been dormant for most of the summer. So let's see what we can do.
Alright, well, it's not our baby eastern hognose, but it looks like we found a hatchling little milk snake. Look how tiny that is. That's awesome. I didn't know milks hatched out this early, but I think this would have to be a hatchling. He's tiny. So cool. Teeny little guy. Alright, nice. We're gonna let this wee little guy go and keep looking. Hopefully we can turn up a baby hognose. It's getting a little windy for my liking, but here is a little hognose food. Whoa. It's a little American toad, but this one, let's see if I can get him under control here. This one is very red. I'm probably just gonna put him back in his hole here, but these guys are the main food source for the hognoses. I'm gonna put him right back there, and then he was just under this old tarp. Oop. He's mobile now. We'll let him do his thing, I guess. Alright, I think I'm gonna switch sites. Maybe try like one more spot. But I'm surprised there's no hogs here yet. I know that there's tons of nests here. I'm just surprised not to see any babies. And I have here before, so interesting. This is kind of neat. This is what was a yellow jacket's nest. You can see the papery remains in there, in that hole. And it was dug up and torn up and eaten by a black bear, probably. So thank you, black bear, because I never knew that the nest was here. So glad I never stepped on it. Alright, well, unfortunately the second spot didn't go as planned and I'm running out of time here. I have some things to do back home, so that's probably going to be my last outing in Pennsylvania or New Jersey this year, because I got to go back to college and quarantine for college because of Corona. So yeah, no baby hogs this year, but fortunately we did get the two like young hognoses that were anywhere from 1 to 3 years old, something like that. And then this morning we got the baby milk, and I also saw a big racer that took off before I could get my camera out. But it got pretty windy and cold, and typically snakes don't really like to be out on the surface when it's super windy for whatever reason. So I'm gonna head back home, but thanks for watching. If you like this video, subscribe, like, and leave a comment.